Ishwarataha Karena Samhara. So wherever the Lord sees, so 44th verse, 13th chapter, Chaitanya Bhagavat. Ye gune matta hai, kare ahankara, avashya Ishwarataha Karena Samhara. Wherever he sees some proud of some personal quality, he certainly removes the cause of that pride. So any pride which is self-oriented or keeping oneself in the center, then what is the work of Krishna? To remove that pride. That is his work. Three modes of material nature are present in this material kingdom. The three modes keep their identities intact by remaining distinct while mixing with other modes. When the modes of passion and ignorance are subdued by goodness, a living entity becomes situated in the mode of goodness. But even in such a mode of goodness, a specific relationship with the modes of passion and ignorance still remains. When the specific relationship with both passion and ignorance is completely absent in the mode of goodness, it is called Vishuddha Sattva or Nirguna, pure goodness or transcendence. In order to manifest his Vaikuntha pastimes, by bringing into equilibrium the ever conflicting three modes of nature, under whose control intoxicated egoistic persons exhibit their pride, the Supreme Lord removes the opposing nature of the modes and establishes them on the platform of transcendence. The false ego born of the modes of nature is agitated by time. In other words, the concept of I and mine, which are born from the modes, are found within the time factor and are destroyed in due course of time. Therefore, the relationship of the living entities with the modes of nature is only temporary, not eternal. The three states of birth, maintenance, and death, which are born of the modes of nature, are not eternal. Therefore, they are ephemeral. Activities performed with aversion to the Lord by living entities who consider themselves the doers are inferior, while the activities performed as service by living entities who consider themselves are superior or eternal. So here, about the three modes of material nature has been given. Because of the permutation combination of the three modes of material nature, what happens? The behavioral pattern of the people is different. Goodness is also there. Sometimes pride also comes because this I and mine concept is there. That means ignorance is also pervading. So in this way, the relationship of the living entities with the modes of nature is only temporary, not eternal. Though the modes are eternal, Jiva is eternal, the relationship is not eternal along with the modes. That means the nature of a living entity after attaining the material body or coming in contact with the Prakriti, that relationship is not eternal. That is changeable. So activities which are ours, which are considered ours to devotional service, that is inferior. And whatever activities a person is doing, keeping Krishna in the center, that is devotional service, that is superior or eternal. So now see, for performing an activity, naturally a person has to come in contact with the modes. He has to come. Even for performing devotional service also, modes are of material nature are taken help of. Without the modes, how will a person perform even devotional service? But devotional service is eternal and the activities are eternal. And these activities, because they're using the modes of material nature, not coming under the clutches of material nature. There's a lot of difference. Coming in clutches of material nature and one is using the modes of material nature. So when a person is using the modes of material nature, the activities, they cross this material nature. That means devotional service is considered eternal at all times. But if a person is performing the activities coming under the clutches, then what happens? Those activities are material and that activities, they are ended as the body is ended. So that is what here the difference has been shown. What is the difference between the activities done in Krishna consciousness and the activities done centering around oneself. There, the egoistic pride is exhibited. Falavantah vrikshara gulavanta jana namrata setahara swabhava anukshana. The nature of both the tree laden with fruit and the man decorated with good qualities is that they bow down with humility. So that is the beautiful quality of a person who has all the wonderful qualities. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Shapake Cha Panditaha Samadarshinaha. So what is the nature? They always bow down. That is the nature. But one who is, you say, no, half-filled pot makes more noise. Empty pot makes more noise. Like that. Just as a tree bends down with a burden of fruits, persons who are in the mode of goodness exhibit humility as a result of their good qualities. Persons who are averse to the purport of statements like a little education is dangerous, a small fish jumps too much, a castor oil plant grows like a tree, praise their own small achievements out of material destitution, and thus become reluctant to display humility before others. Who have small achievements, they have pride. That is why Sri Gaurasundar has taught for the benefit of people in general. Only those persons who consider themselves lower than the straw in the street are always eligible to serve the Lord by chanting the holy name. So Tuladapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishuna Manina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. Only a person who considers himself lower than even a straw, that person, and that is how it is possible just because he's chanting the holy name of Krishna. The living entities possess minute qualities of Lord's nature. In the Bhagavad Gita, the living entities are described as Parash, Prakriti, or superior nature. While exhibiting pastimes as the spiritual master of the entire world, and while describing the nature of the living entities who possess saintly qualities, Gaurasundar has displayed the ideal example of actual humility. So, personification of humility is Gaurasundar. And he teaches that even the spiritual master should have these qualities, then only he can give these qualities to others. So that is how he is displaying the pastimes as a spiritual master. Haya Nahusha Vena Bana Narakaha Ravana Mahadik Vijayi Shuniyacha Ye Jana. So now Vrindavan Das Thakur writes, you must have heard of the great Dikvijayis of the past like Haya Nahusha Vena Bana Naraka Ravana. All Asuras' name have been given. So who is this Haya? Kartavirya Arjuna. We know the story that how Parshuram he killed Kartavirya Arjuna. He was the king of Mahishpatipura. This Mahishpatipura is near Surat. He received 1,000 arms by the blessings of the Dattatreya and was killed by the hands of Lord Parshuram. A description of these incidents is found in the Srimad Bhagavatam 9.15.17 to 35. The Mahabharata Tirtha Yatra Parva of the Vanaparva 115.10 to 18, 116.19 to 24. In Harivamsha also you can see 1.33, Vayu Purana, 94th chapter, Matsya Purana, chapter 43, and Markandeya Purana, chapter 16. So you can find this description in the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam and other scriptures. Now who is Nahusha? Nahusha was born in the womb of Swarbhanavi by Ayu, who was the son of Pururava, the saintly king of the dynasty of moon god. He was the father of Maharaj Yayati. A description of Nahusha's becoming intoxicated by opulence, becoming illusion and falling down is described in Mahabharata. Ajagara Parva of the Vanaparva. That is 280.11.14, 181.30 to 37, and Udayoga Parva, 11.10 to 24. Chapter 12 and chapter 17. Harivamsha is also there, 1.28. Vayu Purana it is there, chapter 92, and Brahma Purana, chapter 11. Now, Vena, the father of Prithu, actually his body, Vena's body was churned. He was killed actually because he was an atheistic son of King Anga. A description of the atheism born of self-worship, his immediate destruction by the curse of Brahmanas who observed his cruelty towards other living entities, and the appearance of Maharaj Prithu from the churning of his arms is found in the Srimad Bhagavatam 4.13, 39 to 49, 4.14, 1 to 40, 46. Vena was averse to serving the Lord through lust, fear, envy, familial relationship, affection or devotion, and averse to the strong favorable cultivation of Krishna consciousness. So as a result of his heinous sins, he fell into the darkest region to hell forever. That is why there was no hope for his deliverance. Narad Muni explains to the saintly Yudhishthir Maharaj in the Srimad Bhagavatam 7.1.32 as follows. Katamo api nave nahasyat panchanam purusham prati tasmat kenapi upayena manaha krishne niveshayet. Some or other, one must consider the form of Krishna very seriously. Then by one of the 5 different processes mentioned above, one can return home back to God. At this, like King Vena, however, being unable to think of Krishna's form in any of the 5 ways, cannot attain salvation. Therefore, one must think of Krishna, whether in a friendly or inimical way. So the question was asked by Parikshit Maharaj, why is it that Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, they are killed by the Supreme Person? But what is the gati of Vena? He was also inimical, they were also inimical. But the whole thing, Vena was having so much of pride and inimical, but he was not thinking about Krishna. Though Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, especially Hiranyakashipu, they were always thinking about the Lord. Though in inimical way, he was thinking about the Lord. That is why the favor is the Lord himself kills them. The 100 arms Bana, Banasur, was a dear friend of Rudra and the son of Maharaj Bali, the king of demons. His other name is Mahakal. A description of Bana and the vanquishment of his pride by Krishna is found in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam 62 and 63rd chapter, Harivansh 2.1.18. Now Naraka was a great demon born in the womb of Bhumi, Narakasura, Bhaumasura, Mother Earth, by the touch of Varahadev. His death at the hands of Krishna is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.59.1 to 22, in the Harivamsha 2.63 and the Vishnu Puran 5.29. Now Ravana's death, Ravana's birth, austerities and pride resulting from the victories in battle by the influence of a benediction are described in Ramayana, Uttarakhanda, chapters 9 to 39. Descriptions of his anger upon hearing news of the death of Khara and Dushan at the hands of Sri Rama, and the incidents beginning with his kidnapping of Maya Sita up to his death are found in Ramayana, Aranyakanda, chapters 31 to 56, Sundarkand 4 to 22 chapter, Lanka Kand, chapter 6 to 16, 26 to 31, 14, 59, 62, 63, 93, 96, 101, 103, 111 in Mahabharata. Draupadi Harana Parva within the Vana Parva, chapter 274, 277 to 80 to 84 to 89, and in the Srimad Bhagavatam 9th canto, chapter 10. The word Mahadigvijayi refers to Brahmanas who conquer the 8 directions on the strength of their knowledge, Kshatriyas who conquer the 8 directions in battle on the strength of their arms, Vaishyas who conquer the 8 directions on the strength of their wealth earned through farming and trade. Now see, Digvijay refers to Even Brahmanas also, Kshatriyas also, Vaishyas also. But the condition is they should conquer 8 directions with the strength of their knowledge. Kshatriyas, strength of their arms, and Vaishyas, strength of their wealth. So elaborate description is given about the Digvijayas. And various examples have been given by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur describing the Digvijayas, which are mentioned in different scriptures. Bhujadeki Kare Garva Churna Nahi Haya Sarvataha Ishvara Hankara Nahi Saya. He never tolerates Saya. Saya means never tolerates, Nahi Saya. He never tolerates the pride. Now we should think whose pride was not smashed. Lord always smashed the pride of materialistic people. Krishna cannot tolerate any false ego. Ete katahara yata vidya ahankara dekhive thai saba haive samhara. So therefore, here Vrindavan Thakur says, therefore you will see this Digvijay's scholastic pastimes, pride, vanquished here in Navadvip. Etabadi hasi prabhu shishya gana sange sandhya kale ganga tire aile na range. After saying this, Nimai smiled. Then in the evening, he took his students to the bank of Ganga. Ganga jala sparshakori Ganga namaskari vashilena shishyagange gauranga Sri Hari. Now, he sprinkled some Ganga water on his head. This Achaman sprinkling on the head. And offering obeisances to Mother Ganga, Gauranga sat down on the banks with his students. Iha sarva shishya gana vashilena chaturtikhe parama shobhana. So shobhana, parama shobhana. When Gauranga is sitting along with all his students, that scene is looking so beautiful. It created an unprecedented scene, very beautiful scene. Dharma katha, Shastra katha, Ashesh kautuke, Ganga tire vashiya, Achena Prabhu sukhe. The Lord jubilantly engaged in discussing Varnashrama Dharma and scriptural topics from the bank of Ganga. The word Dharma Katha refers to ordinary Varnashrama topics which are accessible to the senses. There is a dearth of spiritual knowledge in this world. Therefore, instructions for removing the living entities' darkness of ignorance by administering topics of transcendental knowledge are called Shastra Katha. So there is Shastra Katha, there is Dharma Katha. Dharma Katha is just like it is like a lollipop. You teach something from Varnashrama, immediately the person's attention is over there, and then give Shastra Katha. The Shastra Katha refers to transcendental knowledge. Immediately, if you start transcendental knowledge, you may not like yesterday we discussed about four wives, isn't it? And that is the truth. So when we discuss like that, slowly, that is known as Varnashrama Katha or some Loka Katha. And then you give Shastra Katha. And what's the Shastra Katha? Don't be so attached to your body, your wealth, your family relatives. The attachment only should be for Krishna. In this way, yesterday in the Bhakti Shastri class, we were discussing that attachment should be only for Krishna. Other all attachment is only temporary. So when you give such kathas, like Ajamil Katha was told by Narada to a merchant. And then slowly what happens? Give Shastra Katha. This is actually preaching. Dharma Katha, Shastra Katha. Actually, it is Shastra Katha which has to be put inside him. But how it starts with Varnashrama topics, which are accessible to the senses. A person starts relating it. It becomes very easy for him to understand higher topics also. It's not so easy. Like the Lord's 3 features. What are 3 features of Lord? Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Then how do you describe it? By giving some example. Slowly in this way, this is known as Dharma Katha. Morals are taught, different things are taught. कारेना कही मने भावेना ईश्वरे दिग्विजयी जिनिबान केमन प्रकार. Though he did not say anything, the Lord was thinking, how should I defeat this Digvijay? He's so proud. Ye viprera hayyache mahankara jagati mahara pratidvandvi nahiyara. This Brahmana has become most proud because he thinks there is no one in the world to oppose him. So pride is always smashed by Krishna. Anybody has pride, that pride goes away. Because it is Krishna's responsibility to smash that pride. Sabha madhye jaya yadi kariye har mrita tulya haibeka samsara vitare. If I were to defeat him in an assembly, it would be equal to death for him. So Krishna, now here Gaur Sundar says, thinks, I just have to open my mouth. If I open my mouth and just defeat him, that will be actually death for him. Viprera Laghava Karibeka Sarvaloke Nutibe Sarvasva Vipra Maribeka Shoke. And everybody will lower him, belittle him. They would plunder his belongings and he would die in lamentation. So what is the death for a Brahmana? Insult him. Brahmana is dead. What is the death for a Kshatriya? Remove his position. Is as good as killing him. What is the death for a Vaishya? Just remove his wealth. That is as good as death. What is the death for a Shudra? Beat him. Beat him. So this is how the punishments are given. For a Brahmana, if you really want to kill him, insult him. Insult him. He is dead. If you insult a Vaishya, then nothing is going to happen. He is shameless. For a Kshatriya, remove his position. Bas, that is enough. Remove his position. And for a Shudra, just beat him, slap him. That is how punishments are given. Now here it is said, here Gaur Sundar says, or he thinks in the mind, that if I just have to defeat him, that is as good as death for him. The Lord is a perfect example of proper conduct and is always respectful to the people of this world. Therefore, he began to contemplate how miserable the world-renowned scholar Digvijay would become when he defeated. He thought, if I defeated the conceited Digvijay in public, he would feel great misery at heart. Moreover, if he were defeated, he would be finished. He would certainly be harassed. All his opulences, all his wealth, elephants, horses, and other possessions would be forcibly taken away by him, by others. And then the Brahmana would merge in lamentation. Keeping all these considerations in mind, I will have to defeat the Digvijay in a secluded place. Let's see how Lord is so merciful. Even Lord sat in a secluded place when Indra came to ask forgiveness. When he was sending the devastating cloud to destroy the Vraja, Lord did not insult or made Indra come in public. In the same way, here also Lord thinks that let me defeat him in a secluded place. The word Laghava, used as an adjective in ancient Bengali, but not currently used, means neglected, insulted, harassed, hated. Insignificant, fallen, devoid of heaviness of existence, useless, liquid, and light. So therefore, Lord has decided to defeat him in a private place, so that his pride will be destroyed, but he won't be hurt. Dukkhana paibe dvira, vipras garva haibe kshaya, virale se karivana digvijayi jaya. So in this way, the contaminated thing or the contamination should be removed. At the same time, he should not be destroyed. The pride should be destroyed, but he should not be hurt. So here we'll stop. Any questions you can ask. Any questions? We'll stop here.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna.
This four things we just now explained as Brahmana Kshatriya. Can
Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, right? That you want to explain?
can you elaborate, or means if you can send something which we can read and then maybe can ask.
See, Brahmana's punishment is insult him. That is enough to destroy his pride. Insult him. If you want to remove the contamination from a Brahmana, just insult him. Then the contamination is gone. Or if you want to punish him, the kings give punishment in this way only. Brahmanas insult him, he is finished. For a Kshatriya, remove his position, he is finished. Vaishya, remove the wealth, he is finished. Shudra, beat him, he is finished. When we say he is finished, that means whatever contamination is there, that is finished.
Means you try to say is his contamination goes, means does he become pure, or maybe his heart
He will improve. Purity doesn't come immediately, he'll try to improve.
So
like Ashwathama. How was he punished? By insulting him. Just insult, that is enough. You insult a Brahmana, he will try to improve.
So
you
nowadays,
cannot slap a Brahmana. And nowadays everybody is Shudra only, the beat. Hello,
but nowadays if we beat anybody, they keep it in the heart, and generally people will start, most of them means are joining anti-legal activities.
Yeah. Now the Shudra's rule is there. No?
Hare Krishna Mataji, even all are insulting in मतलब सामने कर देते सब इंसल्ट भी तो
ये जो हम बात कर रहे हैं ना, ये रोज के व्यवहार में नहीं, जब भी बड़ा कुछ होता है तो किस तरह से उसको, कोई एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में है तो कोई पोजीशन में है, तो वो सब घर में जो होता है ना वो रोज का होता है, वो उसमें कोई बड़ी बात नहीं, तो रोज का ही है, रोज का नाटक है। घर को नहीं बोलना है कुछ, घर
या म्यूट इट माताजी
मन में। तो जिसके घर में झगड़ा नहीं है तो समझ लो घर नहीं है, वो ऑफिस है, आर्टिफिशियल रिलेशनशिप है। झगड़ा उन्हीं से होता है, छोटे मोटे झगड़ा होते हैं घर में, उसको ज्यादा माइंड नहीं करना है। ये सब जो बोलते हैं ये एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के लेवल में किस तरह से करना चाहिए। कोई ब्राह्मण है तो उसको क्या करना चाहिए, उसको इम्प्रूव करने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए। तो कृष्ण भी कैसे कर रहे हैं आप देखिए, उसको अगर इंसल्ट भी करना है तो इस तरह से इंसल्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं कि वो एकदम सबके सामने नहीं कर रहे। तो ये व्यवहार, लोक का व्यवहार, इसके ऊपर बता रहे हैं। अगर कोई आपका कोई वर्कर है, उसको इम्प्रूव करना है तो आप कैसे करेंगे, उसको तो गाली गलौज तो करना ही पड़ेगा। मारना माने प्रैक्टिकली मारना नहीं, उसको तो बैड वर्ड्स यूज करना ही पड़ेगा। That is why it is very difficult to become टेम्पल कमांडर। टेम्पल कमांडर को हमेशा वर्कर से डीलिंग करना पड़ता है।
बट महाराज जी इन कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड बॉस तो सबके सामने सबका इंसल्ट कर देते हैं।
हाँ, उनको ही मॉरल्स नहीं है ना, मॉरल उन्हीं के पास रहता है जो स्पिरिचुअल में रहते हैं, तो वो दूसरों का सोचते हैं।
सही बात है महाराज जी।
ओके, हरे कृष्ण।